Hey everyone, it's Carla here. Week 8 of our 10-week shred. We're almost at the end, but this is where you have to stay strong, especially this time of year. And there's lots of social functions and festivities going on around us, and it can be quite easy to give in to temptation. So now is the time to really stand firm and keep focused on what your goals are and keep that in the forefront of your mind. So always ask yourself, am I willing to give up what I want most for what I want right now, that instant gratification of that brownie or chocolate cake, or whatever that food is that's tempting you? Is that worth giving up what you want most? So always ask yourself that. And that doesn't mean that you can never have those foods again. Absolutely not. But it's all in the timing and making sure that you are in control. So if you know you've got a function on and you've been really, really good following your plan through the week with every single meal, you've been on point and you haven't slipped up, you've made sure that you stuck with your training plan, you've done your cardio sessions, whatever your routine is, you've stuck with it right up until that event, then yes, you can allow yourself to just relax and enjoy that moment. One meal or one afternoon or event is not going to mess you up long term. It's if you have the follow-on effect from that. So if it's one afternoon that turns into an evening cheat, that turns into the next morning and the whole next day, and then 2 days later there's another event that you're attending and you're splurging on all the events. So choose your events that you're going to allow yourself to relax in and splurge a little bit. But that doesn't mean every single event, because that is going to add up. So make sure that you stick with your healthy eating plan for majority of the time, and then keep in control and plan for when you're going to have those times where you actually relax and splurge a little bit. Make sure that you stick with your training plan as well, that you keep your activity up, because that's going to help minimize the damage as well. So sometimes there's just a couple of tips I want to share with you. Sometimes when you go to an event, you can actually eat before you go, depending on the type of event. Obviously, if it's a sit-down dinner, that's a little bit difficult to do, but you can always look up the menu online before you get there, so you've got an idea of what you're going to choose before you actually get there, just giving yourself the heads up. Other functions, it's quite okay and acceptable if you eat before you go. If you know they're having just finger food and those types of foods, eat before you go. Eat your well-balanced meal. That way when you get there, you're satisfied, your tummy's full, and you're not going to give in to temptation as easily as if you haven't eaten and you're really hungry. So that's one little tip. Another tip is you can actually, if it's an event where you take a plate of food, take a plate of food that you will eat from, because not everyone else's plate of food is going to be suitable for you or is going to be a wise choice for you. So take your plate of food that's well balanced, and it might be shredded chicken from a roast chicken. You might have some low carb wraps and some tzatziki dip or hummus dip, some carrot sticks, some cucumber sticks, veggie sticks, whatever. Make sure that it's something that you are prepared to eat. That way, when you take your plate of food, you can just eat from your plate of food, and it's not going to, you're not going to feel out of place. So that's another way to actually kind of get around, not being tempted. The other thing is with your alcohol. Certainly, if If you want to have a drink or two, absolutely. Just make sure you keep your water up in between your drinks. And if you're wanting to really reduce your alcohol, go for sparkling water in a champagne glass with a strawberry or a slice of lime or lemon, something to kind of spritz it up a bit and feel like you're kind of part of the party and the festivities. But you can certainly, the sparkling water is a good way to go. The other thing to remember with alcohol is 3 alcoholic drinks are the equivalent calories to a large meal. Keep that in mind. A lot of people don't know that. So if you're having 3 alcoholic drinks, you've basically eaten the equivalent calories to a large meal, but they're what we call empty calories because there's no nutritional value. So they're empty calories that aren't really useful, that our body can use. So just keep that in mind when you do go to these events. Drink plenty of water so you're not getting dehydrated. So there's a couple of tips for you to get through the festive season and all these social functions and events, but keep up your activity. That's really, really important. Don't let go of why you started this journey to begin with. Don't lose sight of that. So always keep that control in place so that you're not being driven by the temptation or the emotion. You're actually in control. And if you are going to splurge, you've planned it so that everything up to that event that you're going to splurge on, everything up to that time, you've stuck with your plan, you've done your exercise, and you're on point so you can enjoy that event guilt-free. And I encourage you to do that if that's what you're planning to do. So keep it in the plan rather than having the temptation and the emotion take over and it drives you. You want to drive and take control of the plan. So I hope that really helps for this week and this weekend coming. And week 8, let's do this and stay on track and know that everything that you're doing is in alignment with your goals and achieving your goals. So keep that in mind. I really hope that helps. And if any of you need any extra guidance, please reach out to Michelle or myself. We're here to help. But have a great weekend and enjoy.